Greetings, Planeswalkers. My daily today is attack with, 20 or 25 creatures. So, thought I would show a very powerful deck that I play with. It is a white and blue deck called Army of the Dead, based on the Army of the Dead from Lord of the Rings, being that it's all spirits. So, this deck is a fast deck, a strong deck. It has good early, middle, and late game power, and we'll go through it. Starting with the 1-mana cards for 1 white. Blessed Defiance. This gives one of our creatures +2/+0 with lifelink, and if that creature dies, we create a spirit creature token with flying. Cleric Class. Pretty common card here. Uncommon in terms of its card status, but is used a lot. Lunarch Veteran. This turns into that Spirit Cleric like we talked about. This deck generates a lot of creatures, and when we have a Lunarch Veteran out, we're going to get a lot of life from that. Paladin Class, and actually I got to bump that up one because I don't like odd numbers. Anyway, Paladin Class, a lot of the spirit tokens obviously are 1/1. This will bump them up to 2/2. When we get some of the other cards out later, you'll see that that'll start bumping them up even more. Radiant Grace. This card, uncommon, and gives our creature +1/+0 with Vigilance. And then if that enchanted creature dies, return Radiant Grace to the battlefield transformed under your control attached to target opponent. Every creature that our opponent controls enters the battlefield tapped, which doesn't seem like much, but it actually is quite useful. Valor of the Worthy, another enchantment that will create a 1/1 white spirit token with flying. On to the 2-mana cards. Clarion Spirit. We're going to generate a lot of spirit creature tokens with this card, especially since we have a lot of cheap cards in this deck. Dawnheart Geist, this great card for this deck. When we cast enchantments, we're going to gain 2 life. And for 1 colorless, 1 white, this is a pretty good card, a 1/3 creature. There's a lot of spirits in this deck that have Disturb, so this is another aspect of it. We have these regular spirit soldiers, and then we bring them out as other things in the mid or late game. So even a mill deck has a hard time with this deck because they're just basically milling us our Disturb cards. Drogskol Infantry. Michiko's Reign of Truth. This card's going to get +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment we control, and we will have a fair number. Nurturing Presence. We're creating more spirit creature tokens and buffing whatever creature this is on. Rally the Ranks. We'll be choosing spirits in this case. Rune of Sustenance. This is a good card in that it gives our creature lifelink, and then we draw a card when it comes onto the battlefield, so that's handy. Twinblade Geist, the double strike, and once we lose it, we can then put double strike on some of the larger creatures that you'll be seeing in a minute. Mischievous Catgeist, 1/1, we draw a card when it deals combat damage, and then we can enchant any creature to do the same once it goes to the graveyard. Modern Age, draw a card, then discard a card, and this is a flying creature once it transforms, 2/3. Dorothea, Vengeful Victim, neat card. Basically use it once as a 4/4 creature, and it has Disturb as well, and then once it turns into its enchantment. Whenever this creature attacks, create a 4/4 white spirit creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice it at the end of combat. So we've got bonus creatures coming into the battlefield, which would then boost our Nurturing Presence that much more because we've got creatures coming into the battlefield. Faithbound Judge, this is a great mythic card. Defender, Flying, and Vigilance. We've got to get the counters on it before it can start attacking, but if our opponent takes it out, we've got the Disturb, and it becomes this Aura Curse, which is pretty brutal. 3 or more judgment counters, enchanted player loses the game. Katilda, Dawnhart, Martyr. This is a great card as well. Flying, lifelink, protection from vampires. Power and toughness equal to the number of permanents you control that are spirits and or enchantments. So you can imagine this card, once we get rolling on this, and then any one of our creatures can basically be this creature once it becomes an enchantment aura. Great card. Geistlight Snare. Little control card here. If we have spirits that cost less, and if we have enchantments that cost less, and we should have plenty of those early on. Brine Comber. We're creating more spirit creature tokens when it enters the battlefield, and when we put auras on whatever creature that it is on as an aura. Here's Go-Shintai of Shared Purpose. 1/3 with Vigilance. We can create spirits if we have a little extra mana at the end of our turn. Supernatural Rescue. It has flash as long as we have spirits, which we will. We can tap 2 target creatures, and enchanted creature gets +1/+2. Now, this is a cornerstone card of this deck. Any one of these enchantments, like Supernatural Rescue, or this card once it's disturbed, and this card when it's disturbed, and this card, and all these other creatures with disturb are going to be enchantments. And as we bring them into the battlefield, we create a white spirit cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of spirits we control. This will rapidly get ridiculous, and your opponent will more than likely just concede because of the overwhelming army of spirits that you have, kind of like Aragorn did in Lord of the Rings. Anyway, that's interesting. I wonder why I only have 3 of those. I'll have to pick up another one of those. Anyway, yeah, you know what? Let's get it now. All right. So, other than that, it's pretty straightforward when it comes to land. It's a pretty quick deck. It's only got 109 cards, and nothing too crazy other than Hallowed Haunting and the Faithbound Judge. But we've got Plains and Islands, and then a couple of cards with some utility, like this one, where we can sacrifice, gain 2 life, and draw 2 cards. But this is a fun deck to play. Like I said, it rapidly overwhelms your opponent. It works really well. Everything works really well together in it. There's a lot of really interesting combos that you generate, and like I said, you can lose creatures like these and still generate enchantments that will boost the number of spirits you have and boost their power too, because you know, get 3 or 4 out and you've got a bunch of 4/4, 5/5, 6/6 spirit creatures. So good deck. I don't think I've ever seen really a deck exactly like this, the way it's configured, but it's a really strong deck. It wins a lot and it's fun to play. So I'd love it if you to subscribe to the channel. I'll put the card list in the description, and like and hit the notifications button. Like I said, you'll be getting videos every single day until past the end of May, and I rhyme too. Anyway, I've got some Marvel Strike Force videos coming, and like I said, we'll be doing some Middle Earth Heroes, the Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle Earth stuff coming up soon. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. And this is the Gamesman saying, see you later.